Rain drums a mournful tune on New York City's windows as a body is found in a shadowed alley behind an upscale restaurant. Jonathan Smith, a wealthy businessman, lies dead, his blood mingling with puddles of rainwater. No signs of robbery suggest a deeply personal motive. Lieutenant Daniel Jackson, a seasoned detective with weary eyes and an unyielding passion for justice, arrives at the scene. He notes the multiple stab wounds on Jonathan's chest, evidence of a furious, calculated attack. "Who wanted you gone?" Jackson mutters, scanning the corpse. As forensics sweeps the alley, Jackson finds a cryptic note in Jonathan's pocket. Written in elegant script but indecipherable, like a riddle begging to be solved. This clue ignites his curiosity, hinting at a crime far from ordinary. As dawn breaks, the investigation begins, pulling readers into a web of mystery. Who killed Jonathan Smith? And what does the note conceal? Lieutenant Daniel Jackson gathers his team in the precinct's dimly lit conference room, air thick with the scent of stale coffee. Detective Emma Carter, sharp-witted and quick with a quip, sits beside Detective Frank Russo, a grizzled veteran who navigates the city's underbelly like a map. Photos of Jonathan Smith's body and the cryptic note are spread across the table. Jackson assigns tasks. Emma will decode the note, while Frank digs into Jonathan's life. Jackson heads to the Smith residence, a sleek Manhattan penthouse. Mary Smith, Jonathan's widow, greets him, her eyes red but her demeanor composed. "He had enemies," she says, voice trembling. "Business rivals, maybe? He was closing a big deal." She mentions no specifics, but her guarded tone raises Jackson's suspicions. Could grief mask something darker? At Jonathan's office, Jackson meets Robert Jones, his business partner. Robert's fidgety hands and forced smile betray unease. Jonathan was under pressure, he admits, but no one threatened him outright. His evasive answers leave Jackson unconvinced. Was Robert hiding a grudge or protecting himself? Meanwhile, Emma pores over the note at her desk, her laptop glowing with cryptographic algorithms. After hours, she cracks it. The note, written in a Caesar cipher, references a locational, derelict warehouse in Brooklyn. Jackson and Emma arrive at dusk, the warehouse's rusted doors creaking open to reveal a dusty interior. Inside, a locked crate. They find documents detailing Jonathan's involvement in shady real estate deals, skimming profits from city contracts. He wasn't just a businessman, Emma whispers. He was playing a dangerous game. Back at the precinct, Frank returns with intel. Jonathan owed money to a loan shark tied to the DeMarco crime family. This revelation shifts the investigation. Was Jonathan killed for his debts, or did his illicit deals provoke a rival? The documents suggest betrayal, but by whom? Mary's composure, Robert's nerves, and the DeMarco connection form a tangle of motives. Jackson sits at his desk, the note's elegant script haunting him. The warehouse find proves Jonathan had secrets, but the killer's identity remains elusive. As he sips cold coffee, a call comes in. A witness saw a woman near the alley the night of the murder wearing a distinctive red scarf. Mary owned such a scarf, Jackson recalls. The chapter closes with him staring at her photo on the caseboard, suspicion deepening. The reader is left wondering, is Mary a grieving widow or a cunning player in this deadly game? The investigation intensifies as Jackson digs into Jonathan's double life. He visits Laura Bennett, Jonathan's secretary, at her modest apartment. Laura, pale and jittery, admits to an affair with Jonathan. He promised to leave Mary. She sobs, but I'd never hurt him. Her fear seems genuine, but Jackson senses she's withholding something. Did Laura's love turn to rage, or is she a pawn in a larger scheme? Frank uncovers more. Jonathan's debts to the DeMarco family were substantial, and he'd been dodging their enforcers. Jackson arranges a meeting with Vince, the Fox DeMarco, the family's cunning patriarch, in a smoky backroom club. Vince leans back, smirking. Smith Otis. Sure, but he was worth more alive. Someone else got to him first. His cryptic hint that Jonathan crossed bigger players leaves Jackson uneasy. Was Jonathan entangled with powers beyond the mob? A new figure emerges. Alex Smith, Jonathan's estranged brother, who arrives in town for the funeral. At a tense coffee shop meeting, Alex reveals a bitter falling out over their father's estate. Jonathan cheated me out of millions, he says, eyes cold, yet he claims no part in the murder. Jackson notes Alex's tailored suit and calm demeanor, to calm for a grieving sibling. Emma, meanwhile, cross-references the warehouse documents with city records, uncovering a link to a corrupt councilman, Edward Hayes, who profited from Jonathan's deals. Hayes, a polished politician, denies involvement when questioned, but his slick answers and hurried exit raise red flags. Could Hayes have silenced Jonathan to protect his empire? The plot thickens when Jackson receives an anonymous letter at the precinct, written in the same elegant script as the note found on Jonathan. "Stop digging or you're next," it warns. Jackson's pulse quickens. This confirms the killer is watching. He orders surveillance on Mary, Robert, Laura, and Alex, sensing the answer lies close. That night, Jackson tails Mary to a charity gala where she mingles with the city's elite, including Hayes. Her red scarf catches the light, and Jackson overhears her whisper to Hayes. It's handled. The exchange is fleeting but damning. Back at the precinct, Emma reports a breakthrough. The note S ink matches a rare brand sold at a boutique near Mary S. penthouse. The chapter ends with Jackson staring out his window, rain streaking the glass as he grapples with a chilling thought. Is Mary the mastermind, or is she another piece in this puzzle? A bombshell revelation shakes the case. Emma discovers that Jonathan was secretly cooperating with the FBI, feeding them intel on the corruption network involving Hayes and others. His murder now appears tied to a conspiracy to keep him quiet. Jackson meets Agent Michael Reed, a steely FBI operative in a discreet diner. Reed confirms Jonathan's role, but warns that the network reaches hypocyberly into the police. Trust no one, Reed says, sliding Jackson a burner phone. The stakes rise when Laura is found dead in her apartment, stabbed like Jonathan. Forensics links the murder weapon to a knife sold at a store Robert frequents, making him a prime suspect. Jackson hauls Robert in for questioning. Sweating, Robert confesses to pressuring Jonathan for the DeMarcos, but swears he didn't kill anyone. They threatened my kids, he pleads. Jackson releases him under surveillance, suspecting Robert's a scapegoat. Jackson revisits the alley, retracing the crime. An overlooked detail emerges. A traffic camera caught a car registered to Alex leaving the scene. Confronting Alex, Jackson presses him. Alex admits he was nearby, meeting a contact about reclaiming his inheritance, but insists he saw nothing. His alibi is shaky, and Jackson's instincts scream deception. Emma uncovers another clue. Mary's financial records show large transfers to an offshore account linked to the DeMarcos, dated days before Jonathan's death. Jackson storms Mary's penthouse, finding her packing a suitcase. Going somewhere? He asks. Mary claims she's fleeing media scrutiny, but her trembling hands betray her. Before Jackson can press further, a gunshot rings out. A sniper's bullet grazes his shoulder, and Mary bolts. A heart-pounding chase ensues through rain-soaked streets. Jackson corners Mary in a subway station, but she slips onto a train, vanishing. Back at the precinct, Frank reports that Hayes has fled the country, suggesting a coordinated cover-up. The chapter closes with Jackson bandaging his wound. The burner phone buzzing with a text from Reed. "It's not who you think." The reader is left on edge. Is Mary the killer, or is someone pulling her strings?